Hello and welcome back. I wanted to wish all of you a happy new year. I decided to take a little bit of time off at the end of the year and just give myself some time to be with my family without that concern of posting content, as well as just getting some new ideas for going into the new year. Of course, I did not want to forget to make this video for all of you that I promised about this financial planner that I wanted to share with you, just in how I utilize this. The main takeaway from this is to figure out what works out best for you. So really this is just an idea if maybe you haven't done any financial planning yet. It's very basic and very general. So of course, for those of us who love to know all the right etiquette for different things, talking about finances, and especially of other people's finances, it's not something that one should ask anybody about or really inquire about. If somebody chooses to share something with you, that's something that they decided to do. But generally, talking about finances with other people isn't something that would be considered good etiquette. So with that being said, I am not going to be sharing specifics about my finances with all of you. I do share with you that we are paying down debt that we do have. And we have been in and out of debt through our marriage. And it's one of those choices that you have to make as a couple. If something is worth it to you to go into debt over, say, a mortgage or renovations or getting new cars or, things along those lines. We all have to decide. So this isn't really a video about what the best thing for you or somebody else to do is, but it's just kind of how we are taking care of the things that we have right now. So I hope that you enjoy this video and find it helpful. If this is an area that you have mastered already, this video probably would not be useful to you at all. But for those of you who are just looking for a little bit of inspiration or really just want to start getting on track with your finances, I hope that this is helpful. And for many of you, I know that maybe you recently received a stimulus check, and it's good to have a plan for that money before you start using it. Otherwise, you will be looking at your bank account wondering where all of that money went. So maybe this is a great time to start looking at your finances if you have yet.
This video was brought to you by our patrons and all those who have purchased from the Inspired by Nikki store. Thank you. I want to welcome you if you are new and hope you will consider subscribing, where embracing everyday romance is inspired by Nikki.
Everybody's on a different path in their finances, and it's not really something that we like to share with one another because it's such a private matter. And like many of you, it's not really even something that I'm not going to share specific numbers with you or anything. I think that is reasonable that we wouldn't share such things. Now, I know that there are people out there that feel more than happy to share with you their finances and whatnot. But what I'm going to share with you today, I hope will still be helpful. And I just want those of you who feel like maybe you don't want to be using a program to be helping you with all of your budgeting or your finances, just to let you know that it's okay. It's okay if you like to do things by pencil and paper, just a much slower way. It's okay. And that's something that I really enjoy, actually. I've learned how to do some different things on the computer. I think that it can be very helpful. Even within our bank account, we have, things that show us where the money is going and whatnot. But I still love to just sit down with pencil and paper and figure different things out and just see where we are at different times of the month. So what I have here is this planner that I got from Target. It's by Day Designer, and it's the 2021 planner. This is a planner that I have decided to use as my financial planner. It's not specifically for finances or anything, but it's just, the month at a glance really is what I like to use. I used one last year by think it was blue sky, cupcakes, and cashmere, and I used it from the beginning of the year all the way to the end. It worked out great, and so that's just what I'm going to be sharing with you today, is how I have everything set up for this one of these upcoming months, which is going to be March. I'm not going to have January and February, only because I already have numbers, you know, listed in there, but I just wanted to show you what I basically do. So, by the way, I'm using my dip pen that I like to use for writing, and I'm just going to use it as a pointer here. I love to just write in pencil because I'm constantly erasing things and moving things around. So a lot of the expenses that we have, I just have written over here on the notes and to-do section, because as I go through the month and as those bills come in, I just check them off and insert them wherever they are. So as you will see right at the beginning, I mean, unless the month starts out on a Sunday, which isn't often, I will use this square up here to write out our starting debt for the month and then where we ended that month. And so it's really nice to see that number going down. You can also just have a running, you know, total, but I just like to see things at a month at a glance, and then the total income that we brought in. So this is just a nice way to kind of, you know, keep your spirits up within a month, and it just also helps you see if you went further into debt and, you know, where you might need to work on certain things. But for us, we've accrued some debt in the renovation of this home that we're in, and so that's kind of like our mortgage payment in addition to 2 cars that we just got last year. And we have a goal this year to pay all of that debt off. So we are just, you know, very, very much determined to get that number to 0 this year. And that's an exciting goal that we have. And so it's something that we've been working on for, I mean, since we've moved into this place, and we started accruing the debt, and we're just excited this year to get that all taken care of. So one of the things that I hope you will see in here are all of the different ways that we have figured out how to bring money in. And that's a great way to be able to pay down debt. If you don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck, and having those additional streams of money coming in are very important when you're talking about paying off debt. So that's, you know, something that I have outlined here, and I'm going to share with you my system for doing things. The only number you see here are the house taxes that we have to pay on this property that we're on. So that is already filled in, but I do that through the whole year because I know in advance when that is due, and I want to make sure to pay that on time each month. So that's why I have that filled in for a whole year. The loan that we have, we need to have that paid at the first of every month. And then I put, you know, all of the different expenses that we have. So the expenses that we have, I like to write it at the front of, you know, that day, whatever day it's going to be coming out on. And then a little line so that I can fill in how much those things are. Now, what you will see is that a lot of that is like with water and the power bill, and our phone bill, of course, is the same every time, but I don't have that filled in. And then what I support somebody else with, that is a space. Like, for instance, someone that I support on Patreon, someone I support on YouTube, I have those throughout here because for me, I feel that's a very important part of what I do. I want to make sure to give back in that way as well. And I just think with this day and age where a lot of people are relying on that kind of income, if they are, I mean, I just am aware of that because of myself in, you know, having a YouTube channel, having a Patreon channel, that I rely on others' help to kind of take care of a lot of the things that I have going on within to help me sustain what I'm trying to do. So I want to make sure to give back in that way as well. So I have those things listed through here, and then also on the first day of every week, making sure that I have a space dedicated to what I'm going to be giving on that Sunday. And then money that is going to be coming in, I have a little dollar sign where you can see, you know, each month where the money is going to be coming in. So Jorge donates plasma, he gets money coming in, he gets money coming in from his check at certain times. So I pretty much know these amounts that he has coming in, but sometimes he does some extra hours. He will work overtime, and so that won't always be the same, but I know that it won't go below a certain amount. So usually I will fill that in, but of course I'm not filling that in for the internet purpose. But we also get our car washed, and so we have a certain amount that we dedicate to that, and then also our water bill, our trash bill. And let's see, over here, if someone purchases from my Etsy shop each week, then I can count on more money coming in each week for Etsy. So that's why Etsy's payday is every Tuesday for me, and so that's why I have that listed here. And this really makes it easy for me to just add up quickly, because all of this stuff doesn't go into our account. For instance, the plasma, that goes onto a card for Jorge. So it's just good to know, you know, what money we had coming in. And then this doesn't always go, it's not like a direct deposit or anything when I do cleaning, but that is something that I earn money for every 2 weeks. And then also I have Patreon, and then my YouTube. Oh, and I did not put in a dollar sign here for YouTube, but I have money coming in then. And then, for instance, the orthodontist, my brother, I mean, you know, I have to pay him for filming that he has done. It's not one of those things where, you know, I mean, filming isn't free these days. So we have to make sure that we have enough money throughout the week, just knowing how much we can put towards the loan that we have, etc., and just knowing throughout the month how much money we have at these different times. So for instance, any time that I have money coming out, I will subtract that from the total of the last time that I placed. So for instance, when I have money coming in, I total that at the end of the day, how much should have been in the account. Then when I have something coming out, I will then reconfigure the total, take that out, and that would be how much that we have left. Of course, sometimes there are different things coming out of our bank account all the time with different things, and so you know, it takes daily consideration going into your bank account each day if you want to. But this also just helps me to see generally where we want to be throughout the month. It's much easier to me than, you know, figuring all of that out on my bank in my bank account. So, but I compare it with my bank account, and then if there's a question about anything, then I can work all of that out. And so, you know, that's what I do. I go throughout, place what items are going to be coming out about what time, and then as soon as I get that bill, I pay it and, you know, check it off my list. And it's just a way for me to kind of keep track of with what kind of things are going out and what kind of things are going in. The other thing I want to make note of is that I have over here, I schedule a financial meeting, and that's something that Jorge and I do together. We just go over our finances, where we are. I really like to do this in the middle of the month, because I think that oftentimes if you do it at the beginning of the month, sometimes you may feel that you're running behind on something. And this is just something that I've come up with because of past, you know, encounters with different things. And then at the end of the month, you may feel a real pull or a real, just where you feel like, well, there's just not enough money. I just think that it's best for us to meet in the middle, and then we can see, oh, we need more here or more there. And so we just figure things that way. And then we feel that we are set up for the end of the month going into the beginning of the month. So it just works out best for us. And then of course, I figure all of these numbers out, and I can bring him, we go over the month before, how much debt we started with, how much we ended with, how much we made. And those are really great things just to look at together, especially when you are working with somebody else like your spouse with your finances, because this is really an area that so many people struggle, and they a lot of people divorce over these kind of things. So you want to make sure that you are working together. I have other things over here that I like to make sure that I'm keeping track of, such as how much money I'm putting in towards my business, how much money we have to pay in taxes, as well as what we're going to be saving, the money that we are going to pocket each month. So that has to come out. That's, all different things that you need to put into your budget. It gives a person so much more peace of mind when they have decided how much they're going to put towards different things that, they are planning on spending their money on, because then when that certain thing comes out, you don't feel those negative kind of feelings because you told your money where you wanted it to go. And that's how I feel when it comes to pocket money, for instance. Yes, we've been in the position of just throwing every single dollar that we had towards debt, and then, we didn't enjoy anything. And what I found happens is that then we can start to feel bitter about different things, or we start questioning one another about what we spent our money on. And so just kind of giving yourself an allowance of, he can spend this amount of money on whatever he wants and I don't question it. I can spend this amount of money on whatever I want. He doesn't care about it. And then you just have a little money in your pocket, I think is always good. And that's especially too for those of you that have a joint account. Like my husband and I, we have a joint account. And then at the end of the month, we see how much we spent on gas, how much we spent on food. Of course, we have a budget of what we don't want to go above. And really that's on kind of that card. What we've been doing is Jorge's been using the money that he gets for plasma. He's been using that whenever we go to the grocery store. So that has been really helpful. And then it's like we're not taking out of all of these other funds to pay things off and to pay towards, all of these other things that we have going on. So those are different ways that we have found to help ourselves in this kind of situation that we are in, or when you really want to focus your efforts. If you have a mortgage, for instance, and you're just trying to pay that mortgage off, you really want to focus your finances there, making sure that you have that starting amount, and then you can see that number going down is really helpful, and it just makes you feel so much better when you sit down and you go over your finances, just seeing where you are. And then also when there's an increase in income or a decrease, you know that you got to cut back on certain things, or you can save a little more, you can give yourselves a little bit higher of an allowance maybe, or just, whatever you guys decide to do, because this is really just something that is so personal to each person. And everybody has a different way of working out their finances. But I think we can all agree that, being out of debt is something that is a feeling unlike any other. And it's it's something to strive towards. And so many people are in debt, but making that plan of getting yourself out of it, I think, is so helpful. And it helps you see that light at the end of the tunnel. So living below your means is very important, of course. And then unless you decide together that, you know, we're going to take out this loan so that we can fix up the house, but it's something that you can, you are able to pay down. You maybe have a very low interest rate. We don't have interest on our loan. Just being smart about your finances, of course, is very important. Coming together to discuss them, and then having your plan, that helps me to see, you know, what kind of things we need to work on, or just really some peace of mind. That's what it gives me. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. Like I said, this is just a way that I've come up with that I like to do mine. I'm much slower. I love a slower pace, much like in the way that I speak, a slower pace in doing my finances. And that's what I have found works out best for me. Make sure you find out what works best for you. That way you stick with it and let that work for you. So again, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to all that's to come, and I would love to hear in the comments below what little thing made your day today. Something that made mine was just having everything back in order in my home, because we, you know, packed all of the Christmas decorations and everything away. I've rearranged some things in my home, and it just feels like I'm in a brand new place. So I, of course, look forward to sharing all of that with you soon. But with that, I am going to leave you here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everyone.